Is the Moog grandmother still relevant today? Very much so. Let me tell you why. First of all, it's the sound. The Grandmother by Moog or Moog just sounds amazing. The raw analog tone of it is like nothing I've ever heard before. Actually, it might be one of the best sounding synthesizers I've ever played, and I worked in a now closed music store and heard a lot of different synthesizers, and maybe it's just me and my taste, but I really think the sound of the grandmother is the grandmother sound is something quite unique. The Moog grandmother is so versatile. You can make hard basses, epic lead sounds, and almost an entire ambient track. If I had to choose the two best sounding synthesizers I've ever played, I would choose the grandmother and the matriarch. They sound the same. The design. I really like the design and layout of the grandmother. It seems so logical to me, the way the modules are laid out and the way the sound flows through the machine. You can access almost any parameter from the front panel, and every knob, every inch of this synth just feels high quality, nice, handmade, spectacular. For some people, the fader controlling the sustain is a bit too loose or doesn't have enough resistance when going up and down, but to me it really isn't a big issue. But I can see where they come from. Did I mention the lovely reverb? I really like that the synth is a semi-modular one. It might actually be the best one in existence, or it's at least the best one I've tried. For me, the great thing about semi-modular devices are that you always have a starting point and then you tweak it from there. The sequencer. I love the ARP and sequence section on the grandmother. It has few and simple settings, but it all makes so much sense when creating or coming up with musical ideas. quite skeptical about not having presets, but you could say that you create a workflow around it in such a way that you experiment with every patch you make. And I think having this synth made me work or create music in a different way. Should you buy a Moog grandmother today? Yes. If you have one, please go play it. If you're thinking about selling one, don't. If I had to say what I dislike about the grandmother, I would say that the one envelope is kind of a limitation, even though I often use the same envelope for the filter and the amplitude. But it's nice being able to separate those two things. There's just one more thing that I would like to have seen on this synth, and that is that the patch points on the back of the grandmother were named on the front panel, so you don't have to tilt over the synth in order to remember what the patch point does on the back. But besides that, it might be my favorite synth in the whole wild world, in the whole wide world.